All right, so let's take a dive into how media queries work and how we are supposed to put them on our style sheet. So here I have a very simple index page. It's linked to my style sheet, and I want to go over what we have going on here. So the very first thing is we have these base styles, and the base styles are the default styles that are going to be in effect for all of my viewport sizes unless I specifically change them. In other words, I'm going to always have my body background color being Alice Blue. I'm not going to change it in any of these media queries. But in these media queries, there are going to be changes to this class box. So let's see how that works and why I'm kind of bringing that out to attention. So I have a div with the class equals box, and so my default style says my class box has these particular stylings. Okay, and so we say that this particular story is is mobile first, because if you look at, there's my default, my media query is ascending from smaller to bigger, and that's intentional. You want to make sure when you write your media queries that first you write your base styles, your default for all the style sizes, and then you're going to increase in size in order. So you can see I went min width 576 pixels, and my next one is min width 768 pixels. And so the way that this is working, or what's going on here, is when we hit our first media query, so at media, and then the parenthesis says at what viewport width anything inside this open and closed curly braces is going to be affected. Only the things in these open and closed curly braces will be affected. So what it's saying is, let's go ahead and spread this out a little bit wider. When our viewport is 576 pixels, here's the change. Our styling that was box up here is getting edited to a new color and to a background color and to a new text color. It's still maintaining the text align center because we didn't overwrite that. We didn't change it. So only the changes are what we're going to put in this media query. Notice I didn't also put text align center here. It's not necessary because we already had it in our default. I'm not making the change, so therefore it's not being accessed or added an extra here inside these curly braces. For the same story, I haven't made any changes to the background color, so I didn't put the background color in this media query. Only the things that are changing is what we put inside each media query, each successive media query, because it's going to take whatever was and add whatever's changing. Now, if you look here at our dev tools, I'm going to put it small again because I want you to see this is a very handy tool that we can use to kind of pay attention to how our media queries are working. So here I have my smallest viewport, my default, my base styles, and here you can see that I have my div class box, and these are the styles that are applied based on the base style. Now, when we hit our first media query, when we go to 576 pixels or wider, what you're going to see is those default styles got X'd out, got crossed out, and now we can see that our media query took place because it's overriding our base styles, and at 576 pixels we can see that the color got overwritten, the background color and the color got overwritten. So this is a great tool sometimes to look at when we don't know, maybe sometimes our code didn't work the way we thought it should. This is a good place to come and see that in effect or working. So just to kind of highlight again, we've got a third media query, and this third media query says, well, here's the base. When we get larger, then just apply these changes, and then when we get larger, we're just going to apply these changes. So let's get larger and see what happens. So now when we hit that 768 pixels or wider, you'll see that our background color changed, our font size changed, but notice our color still stayed white because we didn't overwrite that in the larger media query, and that's important. So we're always taking what was before, and then only if it changes is when we're putting it in our curly braces. And order matters. So let me show you why I'm saying order matters. Let's take our base style and put it after our media queries, because I've been saying over and over again that we put our base styles first, And then we add sequentially in order, ascending to larger and larger viewport sizes, our media queries. So now I'm going to demonstrate, well, what happens if I kind of ignore that rule, I'm going to put whatever I want after the media queries, shouldn't it still work? And the answer is no, it won't work, because these styles are now overriding these media queries. Even though the media queries are specific, since our base styles are afterwards, it's going to overwrite our media queries. So now you'll see that our media queries aren't even taking effect. So it's very important that you keep in mind, again, order matters. So to re-highlight the point here, base styles are for whatever you're designing first, in our case, mobile first. And our base styles are going to be exactly what our page is going to look like, or we want it to look like, in our mobile view first. We then add media queries in order of size. So as we get larger, they go sequentially, so larger and then larger again. And each media query is going to add or change only the things that we want to add or change. So in this case, we're changing some things, but our defaults are still in place. So as long as our defaults existed before our media query, it'll continue on. We don't need to make any changes. And then our third media query then is overriding just what is currently in place with this media query. In other words, our color white still maintained. Let's go ahead and see that. Our color white was still maintained in our font color, but our font size changed. So this is how you structure your CSS styles on your CSS page, your media queries.